Padfoot again, and Mahoney's over there this time. Oh. I'll get it. You fall under the table? Get it, lazy. Oh, Padfoot will get it, won't you? Oh, well, I'm not digging for a biscuit. You gotta get it yourself. Well, Padfoot's gonna go look for it. So, I want to do a video today, some reviews on some shows I've been watching. The weekend of my birthday, when my April F-Box was coming, which we knew was Game of Thrones themed. Padfoot, get out of there! He's killing my Hello Kitty army over there in the corner. In the kitty corner! He just knocked him all off the chair. I have to knock him in the head. And so I had started watching right before my F-Box came. Maybe it's before I ordered it. I think it was like a week before I ordered it. Because I didn't know the theme when I had started watching Game of Thrones. Everyone said, oh, you gotta watch Game of Thrones since you like, like medieval Europe stuff, that kind of related history and stuff. You'd love that show. And, man, I got so involved. I was binge watching that like crazy until I finally... Padfoot! Gross. Stop that. Hey! He's not listening today. Mahoney, you big coward. So, I absolutely loved it, and I just kept binge watching until I was ready for the 5th season to start. And I think, or maybe it had just already started, so it's maybe like a couple episodes behind. Maybe not. I can't quite remember. But I did catch up on the season, all the seasons, until I got to the 5th season. And then I followed it weekly. I was kind of depressed I couldn't keep binge watching. I had to wait for every week for a new episode. And I was like, oh no. But I absolutely love Game of Thrones. And really the only complaint I have is like what everybody else complains about is you fall in love with a character and then they get bumped off. That's the one show that happens to. But I really liked it. I know a lot of people complain about the sex, the rape, the violence. I mean, hello people, that was, I know this is a fictional world, like on a fictional planet, but it's still like kind of modeled after, medieval times back in Europe and whatnot. So, I mean, that's just how it was back then, and I think a lot of these people complaining are just like really uptight prudes or something. I mean, if sex and violence offends you, don't freaking watch it. That's all I can say. Don't watch it. Some people will bitch about anything, but get over it and don't watch it if you don't like it. Go watch some Disney or something. But of course, it's usually the same type of people that want to find some kind of fault with Disney movies. Oh, implied sex and all this nonsense. I mean, it's life, honey. Get over it. If you're that wound up and uptight about stuff, get some therapy. Seriously. Anyway, but I really like Game of Thrones. Seems like in this series, it's much, like I said, much like medieval Europe, and the only way royalty got to be royalty back in those times was to bump off the competition. That's just how it was. But I really love this show. I didn't like how the last season ended, of course. I think we were all a little sad. But rumors are saying that this particular character that got killed off at the end of season 5, which I won't give you any spoilers in case you haven't seen it or you're trying to watch it and catch up. So I won't give spoilers, but the character a very beloved character that supposedly dies at the end. And there's rumors, though, that he will be coming back. or he may come back. If anything we've learned from this series is you can't, it's not predictable. It's, everything's quite unpredictable. So, who knows? And I'd love to read the comics. The same with Walking Dead. I haven't read all the Walking Dead comics yet. But that's on my list to do when I can find time. But if you've not seen Game of Thrones, it's absolutely amazing. I loved it. Then, another series that I thought I'd give a try was iZombie. And it's a little different than your typical zombie stuff. Like The Walking Dead, for example. It's like a mix of comedy like Shaun of the Dead and zombies, obviously, from like The Walking Dead, and then it's also a bit of a crime drama show. And, kind of like Walking Dead, Shaun of the Dead meets Law and Order. Or CSI. Probably CSI is more comparable to that. But it's really cute. This doctor, she goes to a party with a friend, and some kind of riot breaks out, and some dude scratches her, and she wakes up the next morning on the beach where the party was, on this boat, in a body bag, because she was dead, or thought to be dead. But she wakes up and she's a zombie, and she gets a job in the morgue with a friend of hers, and she teams up with this cop, and they solve crimes. He thinks she's psychic, but what she's really doing by working in the morgue, she eats the brains of these victims and finds out how they died. And so she's working with the police. And it's an absolutely excellent show. I'm not quite sure when I started watching it how I'd feel about it, because it's on the CW, and I wasn't a big fan of the Vampire Diaries. It was okay, but I didn't finish watching that out. It just wasn't really my thing. I don't know, I guess it was still a little too... And don't get me wrong, I like Buffy. And I'm so excited that there's going to be a Buffy item in the Nerd Block and Horror Block. Even though I'm not getting Horror Block, I know some of my pals in the Facebook Horror Buy Sell Trade group is going to hook me up. But, God, lost train of thought. I'm so tired. It's Vampire Diaries to me was kind of like a Buffy meets Twilight. It was just not really so much my thing. So, and that was a CW series, and so I wasn't quite sure how I'd feel about iZombie. So I'm just not a big fan of a lot of them CW shows. But I gave it a try, and after that first episode, I thought I was hooked. I was like, I'm going to give it one more time and give another episode a watch. And I mean, I was just so hooked. I'm not sure when the next season starts, but it's not soon enough. No, not soon enough. So, if you haven't seen that one, I absolutely recommend seeing iZombie. Another series I just finished, and I started this earlier this year. I wanted something to watch on Netflix, and everyone's like, I'd heard a million times about Orange is the New Black, but I never really watched it. Didn't really have any need, but I was out on some doctor appointments, or headed out on some doctor appointments, and the night before I asked, I was like, I'm taking my tablet, recommend me something to watch. And everyone kept saying, Orange is the New Black. So I watched it, and I got 2 or 3 episodes in, and got hooked on that. Binge watched it all the way through the first 2 seasons. Then the 3rd season has just come out last month, and I binge watched it in 2 days. Absolutely awesome show. It's freaking hilarious. I'm like so in love with Crazy Eyes. She's so cute. She's so funny and so psychotic. You just fall in love with her. She's absolutely adorable. The show is freaking hilarious. You just, that's another one. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's just absolutely adorable. I mean, for something that's set in a women's prison, it's so cute. It really is. The characters are just so great. I love them. They're so funny. And I can't remember the religious girl's name, but she's always preaching at everybody, and she's always, doing that, and she's so funny. But Crazy Eyes, that's my girl. I love her. And then another show, I know I mentioned this in my previous video for my Collectible Geek. A few years ago, I started watching Firefly. I think I'd only seen like a couple episodes or so, and I just never got to finish it. Real life gets in the way sometimes when you're sick and you have a lot of things on your plate. So I had forgotten, and that was a few years ago. I started watching it online, and I actually had started years and years ago when it came out. But again, I was pretty sick back then too, and so I didn't really have a chance to finish it then, or finish it in recent years when I tried to start again. And by then I had just lost interest, I guess. But I had given it another try, and I finally have finished it, as well as watching the Serenity film, which kind of dwells, more on the backstory of Simon and River, and what they had been through, and how they came to be on Serenity with the rest of the group. And I'm absolutely just so in love with that show, and now I can see why everyone got all riled up when it got canceled, and why Sheldon Cooper on Big Bang has his manties in a bunch over it all the time. I see why. I absolutely am so in love with that show. That's one of my Firefly shirt today. And what are you doing, Boo Bear? I got your boy. So I just absolutely loved it. I like the series better than the film, which, yeah, I mean, they're obviously connected. It's like a continuing storyline where the series got canceled and it just picked up where it left off to finish it out. But the Shepherd and Wash, I didn't like how the film ended with that kind of nonsense. But, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't seen Firefly, definitely check it out. I know everybody's like just so in love with Kaylee or whatever. I liked Nora. She was they call her a glorified companion. She's a glorified prostitute, pretty much. And Mal always refers to her as a whore, but I mean, she is. That's what she is. He calls it like he sees it. But she was actually my favorite character on there. Definitely a good series. If you've not seen Firefly, and it's going on 15 years old, definitely check it out. Watch it in order. You've got it on Hulu and you got it on Netflix. The episodes are in order. At one time, Netflix didn't have them in order, but they do now. Neither one of them have the film, though. But if you poke around online, you can find the film. I actually had it years ago on one of my external hard drives, which never watched it. So I did finally watch it. And I had never watched it because I wanted to be able to watch it after I saw the episode. So I finally finished that out this weekend. Absolutely loved it. I'm hooked. I want to go back and start them all over again. But I'm going to wait. I want to start... What's that other series? I can't think. I want to go back and I want to start watching Grimm over again. Because for some reason here in Atlanta, they were just airing the episodes sporadically, and so I lost track. So I want to go back and get that started and watch from the beginning. And the same with Arrow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Gotham. I need to go back and watch those. I had my TV service turned off, I believe, when Gotham had come out, so I wasn't able to finish watching that, but I have to find it online to watch it. But I've heard good things about all of them, so those are next on my list. I don't like that show Big Brother. All the years that it's been out, I think 17 years, I've never watched it all the way through ever. Like, if there was nothing else on, I would just flip the TV on that, and, just for background noise, but I've never really watched it, mostly because I just don't like it. I don't like how people treat each other, and that's a big issue with me. Well, I've never watched it, even though I've been watching it the past 2 weekends that it's been on. I have a problem with, people who, lie and cheat and are dishonest and two-faced and backstabbing. I deal with that enough in my own personal life with that kind of trash, and I don't like people like that, and because I don't treat people like that, so I have an issue with the show. But for some reason I've gotten to where I'm watching it this season, and I'm just gonna watch it and write it out and see what happens, because once I get involved in something after a few episodes, then I can't stop watching. I have to see it through to see how it ends, whether I like it or not. So, we shall see. I don't like it. I think how people treat each other on there it's appalling. And I know it's a game, but, the lying just gets to me. How can you call someone your friend and then treat them like crap the next? It's just, I don't understand it. Like, so I've dealt with people like that in my own personal life. People like that are just trash, and I don't live like that. And it bothers me to see people treat each other like that. I don't get it. I don't understand it, and I don't like it. I was gonna say about people like that, karma. Gotta love karma. But those are just the recent shows I've been watching, and then in between those I still keep up with Big Bang Theory. I've started going back and watching the old Star Treks, the old Doctor Who, even back to the old black and white ones, and older ones, coming up, and I did restart even the more recent ones. I'm into the ones now where Matt Smith got regenerated in. I didn't get to finish the episodes with the 12th Doctor because now my telly service cut off. So I've got to catch up with that. Love my Who, so gotta get caught up on that last season. And what else have I been watching? And I don't know why I'm watching this, but I've been watching Celebrity Wife Swap. I used to watch the regular Wife Swap every now and then years ago, and occasionally the Celebrity Wife Swap. But I'll if I see a new episode pop up on Netflix, or is it Netflix or Hulu? It's one of those, because I use both those services. I'll watch it there, and I do watch all the Gordon Ramsay shows, even though he's not going to do Kitchen Nightmares anymore. But I do watch MasterChef, which is what's running now. So I watch MasterChef Junior, and Hell's Kitchen, and so right now they're doing MasterChef, and I keep up with that every week. And what was the other thing I watched? I'm drawing a blank, and I was going to recommend another show, and I can't think of what that is. Dang it, I really hate that. Ugh. It's right there in my mind. I was thinking, gotta say that one next. Oh, now I'm lost. But, those are the shows I'm currently watching. And now that I've finished Firefly, on top of the ones I'm already watching, I need to come up with some new things to watch. As well as the ones I mentioned earlier. I want to catch up on Grimm and Gotham, and you've got to quit licking your skin. So irritated. He's got skin conditions sometimes. Gets it in summer. And let's see. Sleepy Hollow is another one I got behind on. It was okay. But I think I just need to watch it again from the beginning and try to get caught up, and then I have a clearer opinion on how I feel about it. And I still can't think of the other series. I also watch Asian dramas, and I know I've mentioned it before, is Asian horror films, and I'm actually going to come back this week and tell you guys some of my favorite Asian horror films. But I have premium memberships to Drama Fever and Sunpai TV, which Sunpai TV used to be K-drama, but they changed to Sunpai TV. But I watch. They both have a lot of different drama series and some comedy, but mostly drama, from all different Asian countries, but most of them are Korean and from Japan. But I've watched 3 recently, and I can't remember what one of them is. I just finished, the last one I finished was The Legendary Witch, which has nothing to do with witches per se. It just, that's what they called this girl because it was I guess it's their word for bitch, really. But Legendary Witch was really good. This girl, her husband dies, and his side of the family never accepted her because she was poor and not rich like them. And so after her husband died, the guy's sisters and brother-in-law and father and stepmother, she still lived there with them for a while, but they didn't want her there, so to cut her off from their company and their home and everything about them, they framed her, and she went to prison, and she met these other ladies, including a younger girl and her little boy, which the stepmother of this girl's dead husband's, that was his father's second wife, she has a son, and it's kind of the similar situation as this main character girl. He has a girlfriend. The mother doesn't approve because she's poor, but he gets her knocked up, and the mother sets up the situation. She ends up being sent into prison too. So these 4 women meet in prison, and then when they get out of prison, back to when they are in prison, they take a baking class from this guy who also has a connection to that same rich family, and so they learn how to bake in this baking class in prison. So when the 4 women get out of prison, they decide to open a bakery together. Well, the company run by the girl's dead husband's family is also bakery related. So they go out of their way to do anything to put her bakery out of business. And it's just, there's all kinds of insanity that ensues, and a much older lady that was also in prison with them. She gets out and she moves in with all of them, and it just causes even more chaos. And it's even though it's a drama, it's a Korean drama, it still has a lot of elements that are absolutely hilarious. And it's a really, really good show. And their series are, Asian series are a lot different than ours, where we have seasons. Theirs are just in one. And it could be anywhere from 8 to 12 episodes up to, I think, one or two I've seen when as far up as 80 episodes. But they tell the story throughout those episodes, and when it's over, it's just over. There's no more. They never come back. They just will replace it with a new series. So, I think Legendary Witch was somewhere between 36 and 38 episodes, and they're about an hour or so each. And everything is subtitled, so if you don't like subtitles, you're not going to like these shows unless you know the language. But I love subtitled films and series, so I love watching these. But Legendary Witch was absolutely amazing. Loved it. There was another one with witch in the title that was really cute, and I cannot think of the name for the life of me right now. But it was actually my first show I watched on Sunpai. Drama Fever is a decent site, but I really love Sunpai TV a lot better. They also have films on there too. Some drama, and then there's actually a few horror. But really, really good. And I can't remember the other two that I had watched on there recently, but I'll have to find those out, and I'll come back and tell you about those. But this was a kind of impromptu review video of just some stuff that I've been watching recently. I have some other shows that I can recommend that, I like a lot of obscure stuff that most people don't know about, or would have never heard of. Same with my films. So I'll have to go through some of my stuff and make a list and recommend some stuff to you guys. If there's anything you think I might think is interesting to watch, comment down below and let me know some ideas. I'm interested in watching some new stuff. I really like anything horror, drama, not so much a lot of comedies. Big Bang Theory and Roseanne's probably about, aside from British comedy, are about the only comedy I really watch. But I like anything horror or drama, some sci-fi, some superhero stuff, just depends. But leave me some suggestions, and I'll check them out and come back and tell you what I think. And I never did finish the final season of True Blood, but I'm halfway through, so I'm getting caught up on that. So it's a little ridiculous, but kind of halfway through this the series, because I didn't finish reading all the books. So the books were better, but you get halfway through the series, and then all this stuff going on and the show started getting a little bit ridiculous. But I'm loyal to it. I loved it. Still love it. Wish I had the True Blood pops. Those I'd love to have in my collection. But I'm trying to also go back and rewatch old stuff as well. Been wanting to get into, like, I can't even think. I know Buffy and Angel are two more I wanted to go back and get into. So, but as far as some newer stuff's out there, yeah, definitely leave me some comments, some suggestions in the comments below. Let me know what you're watching. I'd like to hear some suggestions. Tell me what you're watching, what it's about. Give me some ideas. No spoilers, though. Don't ruin it for me. I hate spoilers. But, yeah. Let me know. And that's it.